So we are now recording. Yep. Okay, welcome back everyone for another episode of the No Suit Survival series. I don't know if you can tell immediately or not, but I have a brand spanking new microphone that I got for my birthday, which was just the other day. And I've set that up. Hopefully the settings are okay. I think I might need to fiddle with the polarity. It's got like a special app that you can control it with. I think as it's currently set up, the microphone might be listening behind it. I've currently got it set up between like me and my keyboard, so it's pretty close to my face, but that should eliminate quite a bit of the background noises that you can hear from my computer, from my keyboard and mouse and whatnot. So that should be sounding a lot nicer. And now, for today's episode, we have quite a lot of interesting stuff to go over. And if I check how much cobalt I have, or how many metal grids I should say, I've transferred everything over into this base from the Achilles. I took, I don't know, like 10 or so trips in the miner. I'll go over everything I've done. But I just need to check how much cobalt I've got to start with, because I'm thinking... So I've got 37 metal grids and 300 cobalt. And if I go into my menus here, I need to grab out the hydrogen thruster. Spoilers. Large hydrogen. Okay, that requires 250 metal grids and a small one requires 40. So let's see, we need one and then two. So let's see, production, making one metal grid costs exactly one cobalt. And for iron, and I've already got 37 metal grids and 334, so I'd be able to make one large thruster and like 5 small ones. What I could use, I've got the large thrusters on the Achilles, I could just repurpose them. So what I'm thinking is I might actually make a large grid mining vehicle and head up into space for the first time in the series, because I want to get a whole load of resources, and I think a great way of doing that is if I take up a large cargo container on, basically it's just going to be like a rocket. There's just a cargo container, a tank, and a big thruster, and we're just going to go straight up into space, because I can't actually spawn asteroids unless I go up in person. So I'm going to build myself just a big rocket that can store a whole bunch of stuff in one trip. I'm going to go visit a bunch of asteroids, pick up some iron, some cobalt, some nickel, some silicon, all sorts of goodies. Some silver I need, gold, platinum, uranium if I can find it. I have got enough hydrogen. My mining drone has been working. It's way up and down. There it is. Seems like it's on its way back. Now, let's go over everything that I have done so far, and then I will get working on our new rocket. I might actually build a little platform. It's kind of dark right now, so I'm hoping that the morning isn't too far away, because I'm thinking of just digging a tunnel by hand up into the mountains over there where I can build a platform that I can just launch a rocket from. So I've actually moved the survival kit from the Achilles down into our base, because now we've transferred all of our resources. So I figured I might as well just put my spawn point here instead, because I don't actually have any more silver to place a new one. And what I've done is the hydrogen tanks that were up on the ridge there, I've just turned them off. They're currently just there for decoration, because I am a little worried that just an enemy drone or whatever will come by and shoot them a little bit, and then I'll lose all the hydrogen. Because if you have a look at the cargo container here, if it goes just below that functional level, it loses all of the hydrogen that's in it, even if you repair it afterwards. Like, not when it like explodes or gets completely destroyed, just even slightly damaged, and it will lose all of the hydrogen. So I might actually just leave those up there on off, just for decoration, and I have moved them down into here instead. So I've got my two just normal hydrogen tanks here, and I think they're both on stockpile, are they? Let's turn that off. Stockpile off, stockpile off. And that should fill up my engines, I think. Yeah, so that's currently running my base, and these are currently off. So they're not doing anything. So that's what I've done there. This cargo container is necessary for the refineries, as you'll see in a second. I'll go over what I've done with the sorters. It was pretty interesting piping up our system up there. As you can see, I've welded up all the blocks, so it's actually functional now and is pretty exciting. Well, while I'm here, I had the thought that if this block gets damaged, these engines and whatnot will just come straight off, so I might as well place something underneath them so that even if they get shot up, they're not going to fall off instantly. Yeah. Have I got a mirror or something on here? What's going on? What was that little thing I saw? No, we're all good. Yeah, here comes the mining drone. Let's see if I can see it on foot, what I've done here. There is a sorter around here. I'm not sure if I can't access the control panel for that. However, I can get through it here. I've named it the ore input, I believe. The ore processor. So currently that sorter that I just showed you above has a whitelist for all of the possible ores, so stone, uranium. The reason why I didn't just whitelist it on ore is because if you do ore, just the whitelist of just ore itself, this like little star one here, it will also filter through ice, and the refineries can't really process ice, so we don't want that. This sorter over here is set up to just do ingots, so anything that the refineries produce. That's the, yeah, we go. The drone brought in a little bit of stone, so you can see that coming through the system now. That's what it looks like in action. If I have more, it pumps through the other ones as well, but it's currently not overloading the system as it is now. And that's odd, because the drone should be bringing in more ice than that. I'm pretty sure that's just stone. This cargo container... an important thing to mention about this system is its cargo storage is kind of limited, because that sorter will pull all of the ore out of these cargo containers and into this filtering system. And the way that might cause a problem is if the total amount of ore that goes through that system is larger than what the refineries can hold, it'll kind of overload and just spill out of the sorters. So I've added a cargo container here, the ore storage container, and that is just attached to the refineries and nothing else. So that can manage us now. Let's see, we've brought in a bunch of stone here, and I should have some ice. Now that's interesting, the drone actually hasn't brought back much ice. I might need to see... I need to go and see... Oh, it's a bit dark, but I can't really see where it was digging just before. This is the area it should be, I think. Oh, where's my ice mine over here? It should have been... It should have been digging... Yeah, it should be just digging a big square. Oh, I set it up for a different location, I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe I put it down too deep. I think is this the new... I set up a new hole, but it's kind of far away and it's like impossible to see at night. Whatever. I assume it's just because I set up the depth for the drone a little bit too deep, so it's done like one trip of ice and then gone back to the other spot and then done another trip of stone. I suppose that's okay, as long as the base doesn't run out of power meanwhile, but we should be alright. If I have a look at our batteries, fully depleted in an hour. Hydrogen engines, they're on. The tanks are emptying. I suppose that is a little bit of a risk that I'm running. What I could do is I might need to wait for the drone to get back down to its position and then just change the job that it's doing. So now we're in position and I can set up our mining job. So the problem was, yeah, okay, so I'm right on the ice now and the depth is far too deep. So let's just change that to about 10 meters. And we will start a new job. So now go down meters. So this is already a hole that's dug, so it will come through this quite quickly. I'll see if it's picking up a lot of stone. Or basically just be ice. Because I think, oh actually, is it already digging a second hole? Wait, so I'll go to the other camera. There we go, yeah, it's already kind of digging another hole. I think it's coming back now, so it should be full. And it's got basically all just ice. So that's what we want. So now while that is running, we can get back to building this. So where is that? Where's that battery and connector gone? That can't have been picked up by the trash removal, right? Not while I'm still right here. Surely. Does it not count you as being nearby if you're using a remote control? Interesting. I guess it must have. Wait, how far is my trash removal? Trash removal. Distance from player 500 meters. Okay, well yeah, no, I guess so. With less blocks than 20, yeah, okay. Sure. I'm pretty sure it actually has been removed by the trash remover. So let's just try that again. Place a new battery, and the idea here is that it will be movable by the hustle. So we're gonna, and I need to sort of probably grab it from this side, I reckon. Make sure I'm level. I want this to be as close to horizontal as possible, just for the sake of easy building. So I'm going to move this up into position here. And we're going to build our rocket off of this. That way I'll be able to fill up its hydrogen tank. And I suppose this will give me a connector point for the return trip, although I imagine the return is going to be kind of difficult. And that's my... Oh, this is such a blessing of the system that's in place now. I'm gonna have to hop out and hopefully not die. Yeah, okay, we're all good. So now we can set this one to lock. Oh, and then I can go into the hustle, hit the remote control. We will remote control. I can't control the landing gear from here. Sweet. Bring that down to where I can access it by foot, and then move that out of the way. Now, that battery is somewhat in the way, so hopefully I should be able to switch over to the grinder and then just grind off that battery. Although before I do that, I'm just going to set it to discharge. Might as well. And while it's doing that, so I think, well, now that it's on discharge, I need to set one of the other batteries on the base into recharge, I'm pretty sure. recharge. So we'll go have a look at batteries, and this should be the one that is discharging, and okay, that's what we want. So now I am going to start shaving off some of these conveyors. Thankfully I can access them on foot and hopefully not drop into this giant pit that I've made here. There was an argument in my head for building a small atmospheric miner, because then I'd be able to do the rest of the hangar and some of the pipes in, or some of the tunnels in here. But I would rather go into space. That's just more fun. So that's what I've decided to do for the time being. Some steel plate in here. Alright, so we are going to need a big hydrogen tank and a big cargo container. So let me grab out these. I'm going to go with the industrial one. Hook it up like that. We're going to add a large hydrogen tank. Do I want one of the industrial ones? Do I need any of the side ports? You know, I'm going to go with this just because it looks cool. Then we need a conveyor. That's going to have parachutes, I'm pretty sure, on it. So we need a drill, and we need some thrusters. So which directions? We're going to need some thrusters facing forwards. I'm not going to be able to dig too deep into asteroids, but that's alright. We'll go for the asteroids that have stuff on the surface level. So let's grab out the thrusters now. I'm going to need the large hydrogen thruster. I'm not going to use the industrial one because it has a slightly larger profile, and I want this to be hopefully as small as possible. So that'll be what we need for reverse. I mean, the main reversing thruster is going to be the large one on the bottom. But it will be nice just to have some so that I can like tap forwards and backwards. And I'll leave this spot open. Actually, do I have enough on board to even... I can just build that right now. Let me switch over to the welder. That little conveyor in the middle here, because I'm going to surround this with parachutes. Sort of slurps them into everything, I think. I don't want to adjust the conveyor, but that's gone all over the place, I reckon. Oh well. So then on here we're gonna have another conveyor junction. One or two, probably just one. And then we need our cockpit. We're going to go with the industrial cockpit because that has a large port in the direction we want. I could fly it like that, so that's a possibility, but we're going to go with this one. I think this one ties into the shape I'm going with a lot better, and it will just look a little bit more snazzy. Now, do we have enough space to build a big boy thruster onto here? We don't. I might just need to dig out the ground here a little bit so that I can place that, and then I can fill it back in with concrete at a later date if I'm planning to drive on here. That's no biggie. So I just need it to be enough of a hole for me to place a thruster into. But that's going to require quite a big hole, because the large hydrogen thruster is kind of massive. Oh, I've lost my attire. That's another reason I need more silver, as I didn't have enough medical components, or enough silver to build medical components for a medical room, so I can change my appearance if something like this happens where I lose where I lose my like design that I hand did. It's got like the green soldier sort of set up. So that's done there. Now we need some parachutes. Now from my testing, 4 parachute hatches was enough to stop something like this with a full cargo container from just terminal velocity to 0 in like a few seconds. So even though we're fairly high in the atmosphere, we're only going to need just a little bit of atmosphere to slow ourselves down to a stop. So we've got our cargo hydrogen, the upper system there that just needs to be welded up, all placed. Tanks, okay, so we can place the rest of the stuff down the bottom. That's going to be fine. So let's snag that off and see if we can fit our large hydrogen thruster. And we can! Haha! Large hydrogen thruster can now fit. Sweet. So, now what we need is a battery, a gyroscope, and an ore detector. Those are like the only things left to put in, pretty sure. So let me go grab a gyro instead of... Let's just tank because I've already got that on my other bar. So we'll attach that to there. And then an ore detector, which we will place like that. So we've got thrust in technically every direction, gyroscope, battery. I can put like a solar panel or 2 on here. That might not be a bad idea. Just to keep it running, because we'll probably be up in space for quite some time, so might as well add a solar panel to it. Now, can I? Can't place them like elegantly anywhere or anything like that, can I? Can I place it here? Off the back of the battery, sure. So let's get that built. And I'll need to set the power cells to be produced. I realized I need a vent. If I'm going to fill up that oxygen tank, I'm going to need to put an air vent on my base. So let's just add that. Maybe not. Can I add it to the... I can add it to the underside and be all cheeky like that, can't I? I am a genius. How about this for things that don't make any sense? So that should be... it won't have piping to it, but that should work. And yeah, okay, so now we can hop aboard and then set up our panels. So camera, I want to be able to view. Drill, let's just grab the block tool variant. Go into third person view. Yep, see here. Turn on the drill, is that the one on top? It is, sweet. We need our parish. Oh, actually, before I forget, let me produce some canvas. That was counted as ammo, okay. Let's build. You need 20, because each parachute hatch can hold 5. So that should fill them up. We have a look at our hatches. They are all full now. We can put them on our bar. We've got like a group for it, don't we? Yes, we do. Open, close, and we want the auto deploy on and off. So that's currently set to manual. The ore detector. Set it up for... well, actually, no, we'll set it up for its maximum because we'll be in space and yeah, just turn it off. The thruster, we can thruster. We'll have just an override, I guess, just for getting out into space. OTH 2 gen we'll leave on. No, we won't actually. I need to, guys. I'll need to turn it off. Shit. Yeah, I'll leave it off so that it's not producing oxygen. Now our tank should be. Yeah, our tank's nice and full. Excellent. Is that side clock always been in there? Top center, top left, large display. Is that being added by something else? I don't remember there being a fourth screen in the top of the... Oh, whatever. I'm not going to question it. Okay, so we've got our camera here. We can see the drills. We've got our spotlight. We'll add that to the bar. Oh, whichever. Oh, whatever. We'll just turn it on and off with L. Our connector. Ship connector. I'll need that. Used for parking. Yes. Whatever. I won't hit the P key. I'll just manually undock it. Oops, that's not what we want. We want switch lock. And then the only other thing is our hydrogen tank, which we will label with the ship. Hydrogen tank with a nice cap, which we will set to stockpile. And then we can have a look at our ice trash. Okay, so we're basically just gonna sort of chill out. Let our mining drone accumulate some ice. So I've found that this is taking forever, and I did remember that there is about half of a tank left on the Achilles. So one thing I wanted to do is, if I hop in my welding ship here, which has now been fully charged, we can undock and move it down, because I am going to add some things to it temporarily. Oh, I've also done a little bit of work on this ramp area here. Just sort of having a feel out for what I want to do. So that the area on the top of the ramp is where any vehicles that I make are going to be driving down into the snow or into the hangar. So I'm going to fill in that hole, and then you'll be able to drive into the hangar. But I'm going to put like a printer or something up here, and then you'll be able to drive down this ramp, which I've done with just ramps, so it's a bit of a nicer slope than the really harsh gradient here, which is almost definitely too steep to drive up and down. But I'm pretty confident that you'd be able to drive up and down ramps in that orientation, so that should be fine. Now, what I want to do here is I want to just temporarily add a whole bunch of hydrogen tanks on top of the hustle. So what I need is a decent connection point. Don't know why I can't place that there. Is it because I'm standing in the way, or is there something else going on? I can place them on the subgrid here, which probably be testing the limits of how stable the thrust system is. You know what? Let's do that. Let's add some hydrogen tanks. I'm gonna add one on the top of that as well, and I can't exactly get a nice. Yeah, there we go. That's not in alignment. looks okay. I'm gonna need a absolute ton of these tanks to even think about transferring this in quantities that will be even remotely like acceptable. Otherwise, I don't want to be doing like 300 trips just to fill up these tanks. But perhaps if I do 4 tanks, I know this is going to look absolutely awful, but I should actually have enough thrust to take all of those, I reckon. So let me start welding these up. We'll see if the hustle can lift this up. I'm pretty sure putting hydrogen into tanks doesn't actually increase their mass without mods. So if it can fly with these tanks, it should be functional. So all I need to do is weld these up and then pipe them into the top of that, and pop them on the hotbar here for stockpile on off. Because the Achilles is just sort of sitting here with 50% of a tank that it's not using because it's got a wind turbine on it and it's not even using much power. It doesn't have a survival kit or anything on board, so I might as well make use of the hydrogen while it's here, and it will save me a bunch of time. So let's start filling those up. That should be, yeah. So we can see it was at 50%, and when it's emptied, it looks like it takes about 15. Okay, so I'm only going to need to do about 3 or so trips. Let's see, we've got food, water, we have thrusters in every direction, they're all functional. We have gyroscope, a battery that's fully charged more or less. Max stored power 3, yep, it's fully charged. We have a solar panel for charging it up, plenty of cargo storage, we have a drill, we have lights, some O2, our oxygen tank is full, and I think that's it. I think we're ready to go. So here we go, for our first trip into space on the No Suit Survival series. We are going to turn off the stock bar. So our thrusters are ready to go. We're going to undock and then push W. Dampeners on, and away we go. Hit the maximum speed, and we will set our thruster override. It starts slowing down probably. I think Triton's orbit is somewhere around 20 kilometers. So I want to be able to make sure I make a GPS of the space above the base when we leave orbit. Make sure before I type that in, I'll make sure I'm not crashing. So there's the first of the asteroids. And turn off our thruster override. And we should just be able to coast up into space. Let's go a little bit slow. I'm going to slow down to 100 meters a second. Sorry, I'm swearing, it's YouTube. Okay, 6 hours. We've got 6 hours of power. We also have a solar panel just in case. Let's speed up a little bit more. And this isn't going to be directly over the base because I accidentally bumped it a little bit, but it's going to be pretty close. I didn't even check if I had cameras. Pretty sure I did. Okay, turn off our O2H2 generator as well, because that'll be consuming ice to produce oxygen, which we don't. that is our return point. And we've used up like none of our fuel. So, welcome to space, everyone. Here is our first adventure into the great beyond. Now, we have our camera on the front here, which we can use to zoom in on asteroids. And sometimes you can tell what they have. Well, this is very exciting. Chief things we'd be looking for are, well, basically every resource, more or less. So what we're going to do is, I think we'll just pick a direction. So perhaps that asteroid there, that one looks pretty nice. Line ourselves up and gauge the thrust. So we'll make a GPS marker here for asteroid. I like to mark our asteroids with a little asterisk just in front of the name so that I know what it is. So we've got silicon and there we are. That's our first marked asteroid. Our spotlight is on, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Just can't see it all. Oh, it is on the exterior. I can actually reach that. So let's make sure we come and pick some of this up. I can go to third person camera. I do have a light that I put on board that's just under the cockpit, so I can crank that radius all the way up. Do a little bit of an offset as well, so it's not blinding me on the interior, although it's still pretty bright anyway. That should give us a little bit of a view of our... We can see the connector at least, which is important now. I have to be very, very careful not to break anything here because I can't do any repairs while I'm in space. Can we see anything? That's a lot better. I don't know if it doesn't look like it's not just below the surface, it looks like it's pretty deep in there. Might struggle to reach that. The ice, also fairly deep. Oh, I very nearly hit that. And ice looks like it's fairly close to the surface, so we might have a good shot at grabbing some. Oh, there we go. The ore detector can be very confusing sometimes. Let's just remove this. We'll grab some ice for the road. And we can turn our O2H2 generator back on then. And then it'll start filling up our tank. Let's get some of that iron. I want to basically fill up on iron almost. We are in the dark here a little bit. So we just have to be very careful. What have we got here? Uranium! Nice! This must be a cluster of uranium ones because I'm pretty sure I saw uranium from a distance. Sweet. Let's see if I can find a bunch of uranium on this then. Or should I check out that asteroid? That one looks pretty suspiciously uranium kind of asteroid. Can I see any on the outside? Hopefully it's accessible on the exterior. I don't want to have to go drilling through. lot. Can I see the rock here? Can't even see the surface of the rock. Like it's going to be another deep pocket. Oh, well, let's mark it out. Uranium and iron. I want to check out that other little dark asteroid over to the side. That one. Oh, that's a nice one. It's got some gold. Glad I found that finally. Found another magnesium one back there, but that was another one that had the magnesium too deep to be accessed, but it looks like this one has some gold on the surface of the exterior one. So let's mark that out. That's going to be good fun. Good. Oh yeah, I can see it there. Lovely. So we still haven't found any platinum. We haven't been able to mine any nickel. We have found silver and gold. We have got a bunch of cobalt. You can get nickel a lot easier, probably just down on the planet. I can build like an atmospheric miner. I need to build an atmospheric miner anyway, so that I can dig out my hangar area and the tunnels to my other bases. So yeah, that's probably what I'll just do for nickel. I've got enough for building anything that I really need to. I don't have it. I only need the space waypoint now. And this is why I make sure that they're all with a star in front, because it means all of my asteroid markers are right next to each other in the GPS menu. So let's line that up. That's pretty good. So let's have a look, see what do we end up with. We're okay with food and water. Got some nice steel tubes I've been carrying the whole time. We've got some stone, some cobalt. Cobalt was the one I really desperately needed, as well as iron. I was very low on iron, so we've got plenty of that. Some gold and some silver. I could have probably gotten a bit more silver, but I can't really see without a assembler how much like resources we need, but that is enough iron to keep me going for the next little while. So I think we will call it an episode there, and I'll see you all next week.